Today, medical devices such as catheters and stethoscopes use silver, and every hospital in the Western world uses silver sulfadiazine to prevent infections. The size of your success is measured by the strength of your desire, the size of your dream, and how you handle disappointment along the way. History reminds us that dictators and despots arise during times of severe economic crisis. In my experience, many people confuse being cowardly with being nice. Education is what you learn after you leave school. Our global economy is much more fragile than many of us realize. Losers are people who are afraid of losing. When I started my last business, I didn't receive a paycheck for 13 months. The average person can't handle that pressure. The rich don't work for money, the rich invent money. Ken Lay, the disgraced former chairman of Enron, found a way to escape his legal problems. He died after being convicted of fraud and conspiracy charges. Demographics show that we are entering a battle between young and old. I call it the age war. The young want to hang on to their money to grow their families, businesses, and wealth. The old want the tax and investment dollars of the young to sustain their old age. People invest in businesses that they believe have the leadership, mission, and team to grow and operate profitably. Every time I hear a politician mention the word stimulus, my mind flashes back to high school biology class, when I touched battery wires to a dead frog to make it twitch. People who lie to themselves about investing are the same as overweight people who blame their genes for their obesity. In military school, on day one you must memorize the mission of the Merchant Marine Academy. A game is like a mirror that allows you to look at yourself. If medical doctors can be sued for malpractice, shouldn't financial professionals practice under the same safeguard? It's time to start thinking differently about money and debt and start the healing process, and the process toward wealth and freedom. Freedom from bad debt can get you started. I've always wanted to live above my means because it inspired me to work harder. If I lost my job, I'd get a job at McDonald's. If you can ask a young man to give his life for his country, you can lead people. There may be less of a chance of losing all the money you put into a mutual fund than there is of losing all the money you put into lottery tickets, but you're never going to win big in a mutual fund. The idea of going to school and getting a job is the most destructive one in your brain. I still consider myself a little, fat kid from Hawaii. Most people have the opportunity of a lifetime flash right in front of them, and they fail to see it. A year later, they find out about it, after everyone else got rich. This 90-10 rule holds true in almost anything financial. Take the game of golf, for example. 10% of the professional golfers make 90% of the money. Silver is used in the electronics industry and is consumed daily. Stockpiles of silver are dwindling. I'm a cash flow guy. If it doesn't make me money today, forget about it. Our brains are either our greatest assets or our greatest liabilities. By 2003, every fool was getting into real estate. The checkout girl at my local supermarket handed me her newly printed real estate agent business card. Learn to invest in investments where you can achieve an honest, legal advantage over other investors. When it comes to investing, why play on a level field? People clinging to job security, savings, retirement plans, and other relics will be the ones financially ravaged from 2010 to 2020, the most volatile world-changing decade in history. I have a problem with too much money. I can't reinvest it fast enough, and because I reinvest it, more money comes in. Yes, the rich do get richer. In business, success often depends upon the relative age of your ideas. I wasn't born a natural entrepreneur. I had to be trained. Everything the working class has been told to do, the rich do not do. That is my message. John D. Rockefeller apparently became more of a tightwad the richer he got. I don't know if it is true, but one story I read was about one of his sons having to wear his older sister's clothes in order to save money. We misjudge risk if we feel we have some control over it, even if it's an illusory sense of control. A lot of people are afraid to tell the truth, to say no. That's where toughness comes into play. Toughness is not being a bully. It's having backbone. People concerned about inflation today tend to buy big houses and nice cars. I did have two dads, one was a socialist, and one was a capitalist. I really decided I would rather be a capitalist. Few people realize that luck is created. The problem with being an employee or self-employed is you pay the highest taxes. Life is better when people are working, happy, and spending money. As a young kid, I really wanted to be rich. Many people will have nothing at the end of their working lives. The rich continue to get rich the same way they always have, by understanding how money works and making their money work for them. The problem with real estate is that it's local. You have to understand the local market. Millions of Americans and people around the world, especially young people who face intense financial challenges today, haven't been taught how to take control of their financial future. People say, I want to be rich. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? Generous people can become more generous as they become richer, giving away vast fortunes to worthwhile causes as Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are doing. Prophets of doom have always taken risks in terms of ridicule and humiliation. If you stand on a street corner holding up a sign that reads, "The end is near," passers-by will laugh and heckle. People will say you're like Chicken Little, running around telling people the sky is falling. Managing your own property can be a full-time job. Money is kind of a base subject. Like water, food, air, and housing, it affects everything, yet for some reason the world of academics thinks it's a subject below their social standing. That's correct, I flunked out of high school twice because I couldn't write. Many novice real estate investors soon quit the profession and invest in a well-diversified portfolio of bonds. That's because, when you invest in real estate, you often see a side of humanity that stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and saving money shelter you from. I've actually taken companies public, I've actually busted companies, I've actually gone broke. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value since the Fed was created. Jobs are a centuries-old concept created during the Industrial Revolution. Despite the reality that we're now deep in the information age, many people are studying for, or working at, or clinging to the industrial age idea of a safe, secure job. From 1945 to 1974, the Western world, including America, was more socialistic than capitalistic, more pro-labor than pro-business.